I'm trying to figure out how to use this thing. Um, okay, so um, tonight I wanted to talk about strippers and like the whole stripping and online culture that's going on right now. I'm not sure if I can be heard on here. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I'm actually live on YouTube. Okay. So apparently I am live. So okay, so I'm just gonna keep going. If somebody comes in, they come in. If not, they'll just watch this video after. And just hope that I can be heard. Sounds like I can be heard, so that should be good. Now, so why the stripper culture now? I'm not a dancer, so I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just speaking on what I observe and what I've seen. And I've also watched different videos with dancers on YouTube. I follow some dancers online. So I'm just speaking on those aspects, not as a dancer myself. And I'm not going to focus on dancers, I'm going to focus just on the culture. So why the stripper culture now? Well, I believe because there's a lot of different things that are occurring in society right now that's making it more acceptable, making it more, I guess the word would be making it more just, people are accepting it more. People are not 100% accepting it, but people are not as turned off by it like they used to be. Because I feel like in society, like a lot of times when things are shunned, at first, like people tend to go along with that. But when other people start to accept it, and more people accept it, more people accept it, that leads to um, it being more widespread in society. For example, let me think of something. Well, even just music, like there's certain type of music now that people feel like it's more acceptable now because you're hearing it all the time. So many people like it, but back in the days, it would be considered to be unacceptable because the majority of people weren't supporting that type of music. And at the end of the day, you know, money talks as well. So if the thing that's being pushed out there is not making money because the average person is not accepting it and supporting it, then they're not going to push that out there. So I believe that there are different things in society right now that are that is like basically facilitating the stripper culture. It's making it more acceptable. It's making it more um, something that is seen as a norm now. Like stripping is not something that's new. It's been going on for a very long time. Just like other types of sex work, it's been going on for a very long time. So it's not something new. I think what's new is the way that it is so much portrayed on social media, and it's just out in the open. Like these things used to always be things that were more private, more secret, more discreet. Now it's out in the open. Everybody can see it now. You go on social media, you can see it. You don't even have to go to a strip club now. You can see people dancing on social media. Of course, it's not going to be the same as actually going to a strip club, but I'm just saying, like, the actual acts. That's not something that is basically hidden anymore. So the impact of social media, I believe that social media plays a major role in the whole stripper culture, because when I was growing up, I'm a millennial, but when I was growing up, like, we had social media. We had social media when I was, like, in high school. I'm not sure if we had it when I was in junior high, but I know we had it in high school. There was, like, School Next. I wasn't on School Next, but I was on MySpace, and then there was Facebook, and then there was Twitter, and now it's, like, Instagram. And a lot of those things are still around, as far as, like, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. But Instagram is, like, seems to be, like, a really big one now, because not only can people talk to people and interact like they can do on Twitter, but they can also share pictures. There's also stories. People can do, like, advertisements on there. I mean, they could do that on Facebook and other places too, but I feel like it's just different. Instagram is a different vibe, and a lot of people really, really like Instagram because of the way that you can do videos, pictures, you can do comments, you can do direct messages still, you can do stories. If you have a brand, you want to sell different products, you can do that. People can click on it and go straight to your website, and they can buy straight from Instagram. So Instagram is very, very different. There's IGTV, where you can watch clips, sometimes up to 10 minutes or whatever on there. So there's a lot of different things on Instagram that sometimes you don't get on Twitter, or you do, but people tend to not use it for, like, the same reason. So because social media is so much more interactive now, people are showing much more of their lives. People are not as discreet as they used to be. I think that now everybody, just puts a lot of their stuff out there. And the same goes with dancing. Like, a lot of people now are using these platforms to talk about their experiences as a dancer, or, like I said earlier, they are dancing, showing their dances. Some people do vlogs, and they take people inside of the strip club and they show them what it's like. They talk about the pros and cons of dancing and the kind of money that they make from it. And some women talk about maybe when they used to be a dancer and now they're no longer a dancer, and why they got into it and how they were able to come out of it and become a better woman. I'm focusing on women when I say stripping. Like, of course, men do it too, but women, that seems to be what we see mostly on social media: women who are strippers, not so much men. So I believe that people are just displaying themselves more now. Like, they're just showing more of who they are and the things that they go through and lifestyles they live. So the same thing goes with stripping. People are just putting their stuff more out there, especially now that people realize they can also make money by doing that. They can come on places like YouTube, and they can talk about their experiences, vlog, talk about story times, like I said, give different tips and information to other women. They can make money off of those things. So I think that also plays a role in the whole social media experience, being able to make money as well, because social media is not just giving them a platform to talk about it, but also another opportunity of another stream of income. So music, a lot of people don't like when people talk about music, because they say, oh, people should have their own minds and people shouldn't be influenced by music. It's not the musician's fault. And nobody's saying it's the musician's fault, because at the end of the day, a lot of these musicians are not even in control of a lot of stuff that they do. They have handlers, and they have people that they have to answer to. They have a certain brand that they have to put out there. I'm not saying, like, every artist is like, they have, somebody behind their back, like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, or else. But I do believe that there's a lot of control that is on a lot of these musicians, and they have to put out a certain image, even if it's not what they may want to put out there. Because at the end of the day, if this is the culture, then they're going to put out what's for the culture. So a lot of music now that's coming out, different music like I want to name specific musicians, but just different musicians that's out there. Like they talk about making money and dancing and making it clap and doing this and doing this on the pole. And even though they may not necessarily be dancers themselves and maybe they've never been a dancer, but just singing about it and playing in the strip club, playing on social media, people hearing it, people wanting to be a part of that culture because now it's popular. Now it's like, oh, the beat is hot. Um, like the visuals, and sometimes even in the music videos, there's like strippers, there's like poles, they're dancing, the strip club scene, so that whole thing also plays a role in the influence of stripper culture because music is very, very powerful. Music is highly influential. And people always say, oh, people have their own minds and it's just music. I don't believe it's just music. Music is powerful. Music is also spiritual. There's so many things behind music. And I do understand that at the end of the day, we have all minds, but we also are able to be influenced. Even the most strong-minded people can be influenced. I have posted something on Instagram today. My Instagram, Petite Vegan Lady. I had just recently changed my Twitter name. And let me see if I can read it. Okay, so I'm reading that first. This is what I put on the stories. It says, at times we say we hate or dislike certain people, ideologies, traditions, and things without even knowing why we feel that way. The same concept applies for things we like and support. Outside influences have been successful with orchestrating some of this. There is so much programming going on. It has been occurring for ages, but more so now than ever before. Protect your mind. And then I put, the battle is for your mind and spirit. It's a challenge because the strongholds are real. Sometimes we know certain influences are unhealthy, but we have become comfortable or desensitized. Other times we are deceived, especially if influenced at an early age or we're not in a healthy emotional and mental state. With everything going on, many of us fall into the second group, no matter the age. This is why we are seeing more people defending reckless behaviors and ideologies while shunning more positive things. They label you as a hater or jealous because you refuse to support it, as if we do not live in a country of freedom of choice to not have to live the same way as others, as long as we are not harming anyone. Or you are labeled other nasty terms. I know my vices and the areas that need improvement. Being aware of your current state and how things influence you is so important. Even the most strong-minded people who are wise understand that they are not above being influenced. We need our minds to be strong so we can stand with being met with major decisions that are coming. If we cannot stand now, we will have far more challenges trying to learn how to do so when everyone else is running the other way and attacking you for not keeping the peace and going along to get along. So that was something that I wrote today. As you can see, I'm better at writing than talking. Talking is something that I want to improve on, just public speaking. But yeah, that was basically something that I wrote because I feel like there's so many influences, and it's not about this. This video is this live stream, I should say, is not about whether I agree with that or not because that's not something I'm going to discuss here. But I just wanted to talk about it because people underestimate the amount of influence that there is in this world. And music is one of those things that is highly influential. So we just have to be aware of that, especially if we know, like I mentioned in the reading that I just read, especially if we know we're not in the best emotional and mental state. And the scary thing is that sometimes people don't even know that they're not in a healthy emotional and mental state. But if you know, then it's like you have to be more aware of, how things are influencing you and making sure that whatever you support or don't support, you understand why and you stand on that. Because, like I said, a lot of people will try to shame you for not standing on what you believe in. And that's important. Oh yeah, and I just want to add too. I didn't really want to mention any names, but I know Cardi B was a stripper from what she said, and I know that she basically was doing that, and then she started doing music, but she was also doing like a lot of videos, just talking, making these funny videos, and people liked her personality. She became really popular off of that, and then she was doing music, and then she's now famous. Um, so I believe that she also opened that door up as well for other women who are also strippers to come forward, do music or do other things, and create their own business and their own platform as well. So um, I think that can be positive for some women, because I feel like for women who probably want to leave that lifestyle, then they can know that they have other avenues, and they can get on YouTube, maybe talk about their experiences and how they went through that and how they came out of that lifestyle, and what they did. Now they have their own business. They sell, clothes, or maybe they're artists and they draw, or it's just something different. Now they're able to use that as a way to empower themselves to do something different. So I believe that that does open the door for things like that. As far as music, the only thing I feel like with that is when people are dancers and then they go into music, a lot of times they have to still keep up that same image. So I was like, okay, I was a dancer, now I'm a musician, but I still got to dance about stripping and still, being on the pole or whatever. So I think that's like the only thing that I don't know if going into music after dancing would actually help a woman transition out of that lifestyle, because I'm not seeing where they're supporting, like, okay, now you can sing R&B and be fully dressed. Like, I feel like they're expecting that person to still give that same energy that they were giving before, that same highly sexual, um, raunchy type of energy music. So I think, I don't know. I haven't seen. I could be wrong. The only person I can think of is Eve. I think she was a stripper. I think, and her music wasn't really sexual. I think she had some, but I think it was mostly like aggressive music, like rap, and I think maybe she's an exception, but that's also a different time. I don't remember her ever really like talking much about her stripping and talking much about that and putting it out there and then becoming a musician. So that could also be why she didn't have to be boxed in that lane of, I have to still stay within this sexual market. But as far as like somebody like Cardi B, like it was already out there, and she was already like having videos that she would talk about sex, and she would talk about a lot of sexual things. So I feel like, when you put yourself out there a certain way, it becomes hard to kind of come out of that mold, especially as a woman, because people are expecting you to continue that, and because sex sells and the world is so driven on sex, it's like, how else are you going to really compete if you've already kind of put yourself out there as a sexual icon or a sexual attraction, and then turn around and be like, okay, I'm just going to fully cover up now and talk about like roses and daisies, like, and even if you do that, you may not sell. So that's why I don't really know if going into music industry after dancing would actually be effective for somebody who's trying to leave that lifestyle. Like I said, I'm not sure. I could be wrong. There could be somebody out there who is able to do it, but I haven't really seen it. I see like most of the people seem to have to stay within that lane. So then there's also like the fantasy of stripping online. So there's a lot of fantasy behind, you don't have to go to the strip club as a man or even as a woman to see these women dancing. You can go on OnlyFans now. Like, there's OnlyFans, and you can go on there and pay a fee and then see these women doing whatever on there. Or like I said, there's women doing it on here. I mean, they might not be showing as much as they were showing the club on here, because there's regulations on YouTube. You can't go but so far. Same thing as Instagram. But I mean, a woman could be basically half dressed, and a man will still be able to see that, or a woman, and not have to leave their home and feel like, oh, I have a fantasy now where I can be anonymous and nobody knows that I'm watching this woman, and I'm being, able to experience uh, that whole thing of, oh, um, this is a dancer that I like, and I want to pay money to see her, or just, I don't know, like just a fantasy. It's a fantasy, and some people like the idea of being anonymous. That is a thrill for them as well. Like going to the actual club, people could see you, they see your face. Some men like that. Some women like that because they go to the club and then they're throwing money and they're drinking and they're buying food, and they like that type of experience of being in that type of environment. But some people don't like that. They may want to stay anonymous. Maybe they have a wife, um, or they're involved in some type of lifestyle and they don't want people to know, or maybe they just an introvert, or they just don't have the time, um, to really go to the club. So now they have this type of availability of being able to do this stuff online. But I want to focus on more so like the fantasy, not so much like the convenience, but the fantasy. But the convenience does play a role as well. Then there's also like, I feel like a lot of times as a woman, if you've never been a dancer, you've never been into that type of stuff, it can be intriguing to watch women talking about it, women online dancing, the music, the outfits, the makeup, the hair, the nails, the money, seeing how much money they have, they showing you how much money they made. Sometimes I feel like as a woman, and that's not just even just with stripping, but I feel like sometimes with women, we can live vicariously through other women. Like we can see them online making all this money and having all this fun, or doing the things that they're doing on YouTube or wherever. And we excited, we want to watch, we want to interact with them because we're not living that type of lifestyle, either because we choose not to or because we're not able to, maybe out of fear or whatever the case may be. So sometimes women will live vicariously through other women, and I believe that's why it's also very popular online now as well, because it's like a lot of these strippers, they can have their YouTube channels, like I mentioned earlier, and they can say, hey everybody, I just got back from a strip club, I just made this amount of money, I'll let you guys know what happens tomorrow when I go to strip club. And then they'll bring you tomorrow, and then they'll be like, oh, I made this much, I made that much. Oh, let me tell you about a story that happened to me at the strip club. I got into a fight with this girl, and she said this to me, she said that to me, and I fought her, and I got kicked out of the club, and then I had to find another one. But it's a better club because I make more money with it. Like this, just the whole experience of that. And some women, they find that very interesting. And like I said, it's not even just with stripping, it's with all types of different lifestyles. People tend to like to watch other people's lives. It doesn't necessarily mean the person's life may be sucky. Maybe it is. Maybe their life does suck, or they may not be happy in the best place they want to be. Or maybe they may be interested in stripping or whatever. So then they're watching these videos and they're seeing the lifestyle, the everyday lifestyle. Like, okay, now I have an idea of what it would be like to be a stripper. Because it is a lifestyle. It is a lot of things that come with it based on what I've heard and what I've seen, right? So I think that sometimes, like, I used to watch a lot of like those relationship YouTube videos. I don't do it anymore, but there was a time when I was so depressed because I would be dating and I just didn't seem to be able to get the type of relationships that I wanted, the type of commitment that I wanted, and I was very depressed, and I was just going through a lot of pain. And sometimes, instead of like sitting with yourself and dealing with that stuff and trying to figure out what was wrong and why am I not able to attract those type of men, or maybe I am attracting them but I'm pushing them away, or I'm not moving in the ways that I should be moving, it's easier to just kind of like live vicariously through other people. So then you'll get online, you'll watch women Oh, I'm here with my boyfriend, and where's your boyfriend tag? Or, oh, we're on a vacation. Back then it wasn't no vacation. They didn't have that term, but vacation. Oh, my boyfriend just proposed to me. Oh, we just got married. Oh, we got kids. Oh, this, and you gotta be careful because a lot of times you can be watching these videos, and it could be for hours and hours and hours every day, and before you know it, like you literally lose yourself in other people's lives because your own life, you're just so unhappy with where you are, and it works because these people are making money. Now, I'm not saying that they are doing it only for the money. Some probably are, but there are some who are genuinely in these relationships and they're just sharing with people and they just happen to be making money as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with if you have a husband and you have a YouTube channel and y'all just making money together on YouTube and you're benefiting other people. Because I believe that it's good to have multiple streams of income. That's something that I'm trying to do on here is get the channel on the road, especially for the next 30 days. Because YouTube was like, oh, you got to get your subscribers up. You got to get your views up. So I'm like, okay, so maybe I can try to come on every day and just really do different topics and just kind of make an effort to do that, to really get my sales up. Because now I think it's like 470 something. So if I can get it to maybe 500 by the end of the week, and just continue to get my subscribers up and watch time up, then that would be good. So I'm not trying to knock anybody's money because everybody is in different situations financially. So I'm not trying to knock that. I'm just saying that sometimes that's the reason why people are making so much money, because it's like people want to see that. People want to see that because a lot of people, they live vicariously through other people. People love to see videos of people online opening a Louis Vuitton bag that they order, or opening up some type of expensive, this box of like expensive jewels, or showing their vacation, going to like this amazing, expensive resort in Bali. Like people want to see these things. People want to see other people's lives and people living lavishly or in love, or doing taboo things, living on edge, right? Being a stripper is a taboo thing, even though it's more accepted now, but it's still considered to be taboo. And people like to see that. They like to see the forbidden and what is considered to be not moral, especially if somebody was raised in a religious home or they were raised with certain morals and values. It's like, oh, I know I shouldn't be watching this, but let me watch it and just see because I've never been exposed to this and I want to know what that's about. So I think that's like another reason why the whole stripper culture online is becoming popular too, because people live vicariously through that. So another reason why sometimes the good girl will choose the bad guy. And I don't even like to say bad guy because he not necessarily maybe is a bad person, but I would say maybe the tough guy, like because she's like, she's a good girl, she's dainty, and she's not into the streets, she's not into that type of lifestyle, and he is. So it's very exciting and it's very, oh, he's so confident and he's so aggressive and he's so tough, and it's like sometimes you can kind of live vicariously through that person. They have these qualities and these characteristics that you wish you had in yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you want to be them, but they may have things in them that you would like in yourself, and that's why you choose them. So when they say we attract what we are, sometimes that's what it means. It's not always necessarily that we are the same exact type of person, but sometimes there's things in us that is calling out the things that's in them. So the same thing with strippers. They may have a certain level of confidence. They may have a certain level of beauty, nice body, making good money, just being a hustler and getting that money. Like some women, they want to have those type of qualities. They want to be, pretty and have a nice body, be desired and be sexy and have money and know how to get money, know how to finesse and get the money. So, and then like I said before with the music, that's what the music is saying, get the money, sis, get the money. Like what Ruby Rose said. So at the end of the day, it's like that's also the message as well. Like get money from these dudes, get their money, milk them, for their money. So that's also like attractive because it's like, oh, she's a stripper and that's what she does. Like she takes these guys' money and she uses it to get things that she needs for herself, for her children, for her family. She got herself out the hood. She got herself a house, a car. She bought some, she bought, excuse me. Yeah, she bought a house, she bought a car. She started her own business. Like she is successful. She's a six-figure earner now. Like people are amazed by stuff like that. They're intrigued by stuff like that. Of course, there's gonna be some people who are gonna say, no, like it doesn't matter like how much money you make. That's still a bad thing to do to get money. But like I said, this video is not about that. But I'm just talking about the people who are enamored by these things. Sometimes it's because they live vicariously. I gotta get my hair done because it's like cheap. My hair is thick, like my roots and stuff. Okay, so economic concerns. Why is this thing so big? I feel like okay, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I think next time I'm gonna edit that because I don't want the words to be so big like that. But yes, economic concerns is like another thing. I believe why the whole stripper culture online is becoming more popular is because of the economic situation that a lot of people have found themselves in. Like it's not easy out here. Like a lot of people have lost their jobs or they're working but they're not making enough money. I know for me, I want to have more than one stream of income. Like what I'm having right now is not enough. It's not enough for me to take care of the things I need to take care of. And I'm trying to move out of New York City, just there's so many other things that I want to do with my life for myself. And I feel like I have not been able to do that because of the fact that my income is not what I would like it to be. And New York City is very expensive. So it's like on one hand, it's like it's cool to just run off and just try to do all these things. But it's like, can you maintain that? Because of the cost of living. So doing this, doing other different things, hopefully will open up doors for me to have multiple streams of income, at least 4 or 5 and more streams of income so that I have money coming in all different types of ways. And I believe that sometimes when people are in very desperate times, they are going to be intrigued buy things the way they can get money fast. Nobody is really trying to start a business and wait like a year or 2 years to make money. That's usually how it is. Unless you got thousands of dollars upfront capital and you can just get that business on the road, you can pay for the marketing, you can pay for the ads, you can pay for the things that you need to pay for. You already know what to do with the business. And even then, it may still take time for it to really build momentum and really make the money that you need it to make. So people know that, like, okay, if I become a dancer, then I can make money tonight. Well, it may not be that fast. I don't know. I think it depends on where you live and what kind of club you go to. But I'm sure, like, within a week or even less, maybe, you can be already working and making money. And some women, they make, $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week. Even on a bad week, they may make $500 a week. That's still a lot. That's still more than some people make working at a regular job. So some people feel like, well, dang, what is the point of me working at a job that I don't like? I got to get up every day. I got to go to this job. I don't like the job. I'm probably bored. I'm probably not even doing what I enjoy. And I'm not making enough money. I'm barely making it when I can just go be a dancer and be in there dancing, having a good time, and making good money, fast money, fast money. So I think that's also what has been making it more attractive as well, because people are seeing the amount of money that these dancers are making. Like a lot of people, like I mentioned at the beginning, the whole stripping thing used to be more hidden. It's not that people didn't know that they were strippers. Of course, like I said, this, the area of sex work has always been there. Of course, it's evolved over time. I'm not sure if they really had strippers in like the 1500s. Maybe they did. Maybe they had it in medieval times and the kingdoms and stuff. They probably had it. They probably had like parties and stuff where they had women come and they just, be dancing naked or dancing, almost naked for the king or different people. I'm sure that they probably had these things, right? I know they had prostitutes, sex workers. I say prostitutes because sex workers is like a broad thing. So if I say sex workers, it's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. So when I say prostitutes, I'm not trying to say it in a way that's like degrading, because like I said, that's not what I want to do in this video. But the same thing with them. That's that's like the longest one of the longest professions around. So that's another thing that has always been hidden, but now it's more out in the open because people are talking about it more, right? So it's the same thing with stripping. It's like it's more out in the open. So people are sharing. Like I said earlier, they're sharing their experiences and they're also showing the amount of money they make. So when women are like, wow, this girl, she made $600 tonight. I don't even make $600 in a week. And she's working, 3-4 days a week. She's making like $3,000-$4,000 a week. Excuse me. She's starting work at 11 o'clock at night, getting off at like 4. What's that? 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 or 5 hours, making that amount of money. I'm at work 8 hours, 9 hours, not even making half of that. So women get discouraged, and sometimes women feel like I'm going to support this because I feel like this is empowering for women because women can finally make the money that they need to make. So that could also be why it's being more supported online now, because people are seeing the economic situation and they're like, well, this is helpful because I need the money, So that could be another reason why it's becoming popular online. And the last thing I wanted to say is the impact that it has. So I believe that one of the biggest impacts is that now that with social media, so many more young people are having access to this. And that's like my major concern with it. Like I said, this video is not about, oh, I support strippers and I think this is a great thing. I'm all for it. And I'm also not going to be here like, oh, they're whores and they're sluts and they're, degrading the society and blah, 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 blah. This is not, this is not a video for or against. I'm just speaking on it. Because like I said, I have women that I follow who are dancers, right? There's one that I follow that I actually bought some lashes for her. So yeah, so I try to support her, because I want her to eventually, not have to do that anymore. She has a son and everything like that. So whatever, that's another story for another day. But yeah, so my concern is just the young girls and the teenagers that are being exposed to this whole stripper culture. The music, the videos on YouTube, the vlogs, seeing how much money the women make, seeing them wearing the outfits, seeing their bodies, seeing how pretty they are, seeing the weave and the makeup. Well, not the weave, it's really wearing weave anymore. The wigs, the makeup, the hair, the nails, the body, the prettiness, the attention, the dancing and alcohol and just the money and just the whole experience. It can be very enticing to even people my age or in their 20s who watch this, but even more so for young girls who want money. They want money too. They want attention, and they may want it far more, especially if they don't feel like they're getting it in other ways. And at that age, a lot of them girls, they want attention from guys, But the thing is, like, you're not as developed at that age mentally and emotionally and spiritually to be able to handle these influences. And then you may be more likely to go out and emulate certain things more so than somebody who may be older and have maybe worked on themselves and more secure in themselves. And yeah, they can be influenced, like I mentioned earlier. Anybody can be influenced no matter how strong-minded they are, but they may be less likely to be influenced than somebody who's young and impressionable. It doesn't mean that they're not smart or not wise, but even a wise person can be deceived. Even a wise person can be influenced by things that they don't know what they're really getting themselves into. So that's one of my concerns with the whole online stripper culture now, is that it's far more accessible to a lot of young girls and younger women in their early 20s or in their mid 20s, or even just beyond, because people just can be impressionable at any age depending on where they are and their level of maturity. And even somebody who may be strong, they may get on hard times. Like, I just feel like when it's exposed to you like that, it's easy for you to kind of emulate something that's already out there. If you got to go searching for it and you don't really know what it's about, it's different than it's like it's in your face. Every time you turn on the TV, you've seen something like talking about that, or like the music and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. I mean, it's just like, it's everywhere. OnlyFans, I mean, it's everywhere. So the more you keep seeing something, the more you become desensitized and the more it just becomes the norm. And that's my concern for the younger girls, is like, and the younger women, is that they're going to see these things and they might make certain decisions in their lives that can be problematic. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, some people say, oh, it's just music, it doesn't matter. A lot of people, they don't want to take responsibility for the fact that we all are influential to other people in some way. Of course, people have their own minds. If they are underage, it's their parents who should be making sure that they're watching their kids. But at the end of the day, we all have an influence on one another. And that's why, like, I've seen some dancers, when they talk about their experiences on YouTube, they actually talk about the cons. They talk about the things that can happen, like possibly being sexually assaulted. There have been one or two who actually said that happened to them. Possibly being sex trafficked, being kidnapped, and all types of stuff. There's dancers who possibly, I haven't heard of any dancers talking about it, but I have heard stories, like documentaries or whatever, of dancers being killed, because some people feel like because these women are doing these type of things, they don't deserve to have their lives regarded. It's really sad that people think that, because even if you don't agree with the lifestyle, that doesn't give you right to harm somebody. But anyways, so I like the fact that some of these dancers, they'll tell people the dangers and even just things in the club that's very problematic and very stressful. And some of them will talk about how they just can't wait to stop and just move on and do something more positive with their lives and less straining on them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because some of them have talked about how it affects them just being able to be in a relationship with a guy, because all the things that they keep seeing with the guys coming in there, and then that just affects them mentally and how they think about guys, and then also being able to have relationships with men, and the man knows that she's dancing, and it's just a lot, So I'm glad that some of them talk about that, so people can know that there's not just one side to these things. It's not just, oh, I'm wearing the hair and the nails and the makeup and I'm dancing, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm making all this money, and I'm just hot, I'm just this, I'm just that. No, there's a lot of other stuff that comes with it. Of course, everybody's experience is going to be different, but even the women that I've seen who've had relatively non-violent experiences, like where they've never, thank God, have ever been like assaulted or hurt or anything, even they have talked about how they've had negativity. They got into a fight, they got kicked out of the club, they had a stalker, like they gotta always, every time they come out the club, they gotta always watch their back to make sure there's nobody following them or knowing that they go into their car. It's like there's this stuff that goes with this, so I'm grateful that some of them talk about this stuff so that people know the full scope. I'm always for people, giving people the full scope of things, because a lot of times with music, they'll talk about, oh yeah, do this and do that, and oh, this is fun, and just live your life, and YOLO, and da-da-da. YOLO's over. We ain't using that no more. But they just talk about all this stuff. But it's like, okay, that's okay. We get it. You're just trying to have fun. But the problem is these young people that are listening to this music and they're emulating it, they're not knowing that there's a bad side to this. So then when they go and they make these decisions and we have these consequences, now it's like, oh, you're just stupid. You should never did that. That's your fault. And like I said, nobody wants to take responsibility for the fact that these people were influenced. Of course, yes, everybody has their own mind. Yes, if they're underage, their parents should be taking responsibility for a part of it. But that doesn't mean that we can all sit here and act like we're innocent and that we don't influence other people. So that's why, like I said, I'm grateful for those who have come out and actually said, it wouldn't be right for me to only tell you about this and not tell you about that, because I know there's going to be some people who are going to watch me. I probably have even some young women who watch me who are going to be 18 soon, 19 soon. They're very young, and I don't want them to run out there and become a stripper and just think that it's just all glamorous, and then they end up getting themselves hurt because they didn't know the full scope what they were getting themselves into. You know, so I'm grateful for people just giving people the full scope. You know, don't tell me to do this and do that, or tell me it's a good idea, or just show me one side of something when there's a whole nother side that goes to it. Of course, I'm not saying that we got to share every single thing about ourselves, but I feel like if we're going to put something out there about something that we're living, at least we should show some parts of the bad parts as well so that people can see it for what it really is. Because even like with a lawyer, if I get on here and I say, oh, I'm an attorney, there's cons to that. Maybe I'm working extremely long hours and I don't really get much rest, or maybe I have to deal with certain clients that maybe it's a lot of paperwork. Maybe when I went to law school, it was very, very difficult. It was very, very expensive. It was very, very time consuming. Like there's always going to be something that I can glamorize and say, oh, well, I make a lot of money. I'm an attorney. I have these credentials. But then I'm not telling people how I got there and what I had to go through to invest in it. And what I'm going through now, I might not even be happy as an attorney. But I'm making it seem glamorous because of the money, because of the notoriety, because of the prestige aspect to it. But it's like, but then somebody may go out and try to say, okay, I'm going to be an attorney too because it looks glamorous, but then you're not knowing the stuff that comes behind it. And I believe that's why it's always good for us to research things for ourselves as well, because we cannot put our full faith in other people, because people are faulty. And then you also have people who purposely will try to influence you a certain way. And I believe that sometimes the music industry does that as well, where they put certain things out there to influence people a certain way. And then when people go out there and they act out, now they want to step back and wash their hands clean and say, we didn't have a part to play in this. No, you do psychology and you study people and you look at what people like and you actually put music out there on purpose to influence people, which is why they play certain type of music in the stores and in certain places. This stuff is by design. So they're not innocent. Some of the artists might be, some of them may not. I'm not sure which ones are which. But the industry itself is not innocent. There's a lot of psychology and programming that goes into a lot of these industries so that they can influence people. And they know that sex sells. So if they see that the whole stripper culture thing is becoming a big thing online, they're going to cash in on that. And they're going to make sure that's going to be in the music so that it can push that even more. And it just kind of becomes a ripple effect. So that's basically what I wanted to say tonight. I was hoping that I would have gotten somebody to come in and talk with me, get on the, get on the StreamYard thing here. Actually, let me see. I'm trying to think, how do I actually share this for people to come in? I'm so glad that my hair is like growing. I'm trying to take care of it more because the ends are like kind of shedding. I want my hair to be like down here. It's really, really long. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I'm like, that's good. I don't really like wigs. I don't like the way they make me feel. I don't like the thing around here. I'm trying to think. It's my first time actually using this, and I was wondering, how do you share this thing? Because I know there's like a link. I don't know if it's the link on top. It might be the link on top. So maybe for next time I'll figure that out. I have to watch the video again. I have watched the video. Most of the stuff I feel like I've kind of figured it out pretty easily. Yeah, it's the thing. I think it's the thing on top. Yeah, but hopefully next time when I get on, hopefully I'll try to get on again tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to get on a little earlier. Maybe people are sleeping or something like that. But yeah, I'll try to get on tomorrow and have a different topic. And maybe I should probably try to do that like almost every day. I know that's a lot, but so I can really be consistent and get my watch views up and my subscribers, because YouTube is like, oh, you have 30 days to get them up to eligibility so that you could be a YouTube partner. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna try. Y'all have to try to help me to get to 1,000 subscribers by 30 days. So 30 days from now, what is that? October 8th. So hopefully by the end of this month, right? Get 1,000 subscribers. And I think it's 4,000 watch hours. Sounds like a lot, but I think it's like if you have a good amount. I think I have 1,000 something, so maybe I can do that. Maybe I can make it. But let me know how you think about this topic. You can share your views in the comments below on the video when I end this, so it could be on YouTube. Let me know what you think about it. And next time when I get on, I'll try to make sure that I put the link at the beginning, so anybody who wants to come in and talk, they can talk and share their views as well. Maybe I might talk about this again, and maybe next time give some more of my opinion on certain things. But I kind of wanted to keep this as neutral as possible. I didn't want this one to be about whether I agree with it or not agree with it. I'm actually, as far as the online thing, I'm actually kind of, my views are a little controversial. Because on one hand, it's like, on the other hand, I understand like how it could be positive. Not so much the stripper culture, but the online thing that's going on now. So, but that's for another time. I might actually come back and do that tomorrow if y'all are interested. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned, because I'm also working on 2 websites. One is for the vegan holistic stuff that I talk about on Instagram. Before it was Choose Live Healthier, but I changed the name for logistical purposes. Logistical, I don't even know if that's even a word. Logistic purposes. So now it's Petite Vegan Lady, which I think is cool. It fits me. And then I have something else I'm working on, which is more about life stuff, relationship stuff, and probably stuff that I'm talking about now. So I'll probably do a lot of that stuff on this channel. And then I have another channel, Petite Vegan Lady, where I'll be doing more stuff about natural living, natural remedies, eating vegan, eating plant-based, mental health, and things of that sort. So make sure you check out that page as well. I think I only have 2 videos on there, where basically one of them I'm doing a review on bath salt, and the other one is on some soap from vegan brands. So I'm not sure if the second one is a vegan brand, but I know the soap that I posted was vegan. coconut soap. I need to be consistent and do more of those videos. So now that I have this, I can do more stuff on here. And I also found a different space where I can film now in my room, because before I was like, I don't really like filming in another area. I was filming with the dresser in the background because it's kind of messy. And my dresser is kind of falling apart because for some reason when it was bought, it wasn't the quality we thought it was. That just sucks when you buy stuff from places and you think it's good quality, you spend a lot of money and it falls apart. And it's like, haven't gotten another one because I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to move. So, yeah. But enough about that. I'm going to get ready to go. Hope y'all have a good night. Like I said, you have any thoughts about this? Not so much about whether you agree with shipping or not, but more so about the whole shipper online culture and how you feel about it. Have you been seeing the videos online? Have you been watching them? There's a lot of people on here, like Jasmine Black. I don't think she does dancing anymore. I know she is pregnant. I don't think she had her child yet. I think she might still be pregnant. Jasmine Black, Stripper Life of Bree, Tiffany B, then there's Christina. I don't follow her online, but I know that from what I heard, she was like one of the OGs. The same thing with her name starts with an N. I can't remember because I don't follow her either. I used to follow somebody else. Let me see. The only person I follow is Tiffany B. She's from New York, like I am, and she's real short. And then I follow Bree. She's Bag Queen on Instagram. She's the one that I bought the lashes from, because her website is Shop Bree Couture, and she sells like different type of stuff on there. So I have bought some lashes on there before. And who else do I follow? Jasmine Black. Yeah, I think she's already stopped dancing. Yeah, it looks like she's still pregnant. Yeah, I think she stopped a while ago. I'm not sure. I can be wrong. And I think those are the only three I follow on Instagram. I follow a lot of different types of women on Instagram, which I probably should talk about in the next one, because it's very interesting, and I never thought that I would be following these women on social media. Because, yeah, I'm going to leave that for next time, because that's a whole experience in and of itself, and I find it very, very interesting. But anyways, let me go. Hope y'all have a good night. Take care, and I'll be back with another video. Another live stream, I should say. I don't think I'm really going to do too many videos. We'll see how that goes. I prefer to do live streams. This is what I used to always do. For those who know me from way back in the day, I was kind of acting fool enough. But yeah, I like doing live streams. That's like my thing. Everybody has their thing, and live streams are my thing. I like interacting with people. I like talking to people. I like the feedback. That's why I was hoping that people would have came on tonight, but it could be that it was a little too late. So I'll try to see if I can come on tomorrow night, maybe around 9 o'clock, or maybe 8 o'clock. Maybe it might be better, and maybe more people will come on. So take care, and I hope y'all have a good night. Bye.